This is the most useless device I ever purchased. This is a Huion drawing tablet with a huge 16-inch screen, just like Wacom Cintiq, but twice cheaper. It's surprisingly very good, but unfortunately it became obsolete almost as soon as it hit the market, and now I'll explain why. I've been working with 3D graphics and drawing on a computer for over 20 years, and at some point I decided to upgrade from an entry-level Wacom Bamboo tablet to this big one with a screen. I saw people drawing amazing things on these, also sculpting in 3D, and there was a Black Friday deal on it at some time. I thought $300 is not that much and I could finally start drawing some clipper for my own projects. Of course, it ended up just sitting in storage. I never really got a chance to start using it, and in fact I drew on it only once. Just a year later, it turned out that a regular iPad was way more convenient for both drawing and 3D sculpting because it supports gestures, a critically important feature. Without gestures, you constantly have to fumble around with buttons, wasting precious time. And you know they say, time is money. 2 years later, AI came along and completely destroyed any need for such large and inconvenient devices. With Conf UI, you could fit in any sketch as a prompt and ask the neural network to turn it into a beautiful finished artwork. Of course, for that you had to know all the parameters and have a super powerful computer with GPU worth $3,000 just to run the whole thing. But then, just months ago, ChatGPT made the whole process even easier. You just upload a picture, type in a short prompt like just make it good, and it turns any crappy doodle into eye candy in just a few minutes. Totally free, no SMS, no registration. Now any kid with a cheap laptop can create production quality content and sell it online, right during their class. So do I really need this tablet now? I don't know. Maybe I still can sell it to some anti-AI activists and use the money to buy myself a Polar Fox coat. But have you noticed? While AI was still better at generating images, artists were just roasting it. But the very moment there was a significant leap in progress and it suddenly started making a real competition, they began to whine that now it's time to shut it down, that AI is shamelessly stealing their work, and they went through all the stages of accepting the inevitable: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally acceptance. But that acceptance didn't last long, just about 6 months of relative calm on the forums, until ChatGPT came out with its perfect style cloning, and the whole cycle started again. AI is stealing. AI isn't real art. Support artists, they're struggling a lot. And yeah, this time there were certainly a lot of comments from artists complaining commissions had dried up and they were out of work. Being an artist myself with many years of experience, I went through all 5 stages of grief surprisingly painlessly. Maybe it's because by some coincidence I'm also a programmer. And over the course of my career, I had to switch my stacks more than once because of the same technological leaps making them obsolete. Life taught me a very good lesson. If you want to eat well and sleep healthy, adapt and study the market. Look for ways how people are making money, what's trending, what's in demand, because nothing lasts forever. If you think learning one skill is enough to sit on your ass and make good money until retirement, I've got some bad news for you. Sooner or later, more driven guys will figure out what's your business, where is your money coming from, and they'll start selling exact same skill, only times cheaper, and their rates will keep dropping until you starve to death. Of course, in that situation, you could roll on the floor crying, complain how unfair life is, binge eat and drink your grief away. But you know they say, c'est la vie, that won't change anything. So I sat down and started thinking, how can I take advantage of this revolution in technology while my competitors still smoking copium, denying the new reality, and crying quietly in a corner? And that's when I decided to quit 3D and drawing for good, at least the manual process. The market is already heavily oversaturated, and even without neural networks, art is worth near to nothing, stocks are filled with dirt cheap content, and beginner designers are fighting to death for unpaid internships. So yeah, what's about that fancy tablet? It turned into a useless device within a year. Do I regret it? Of course I regret it. But on the other hand, AI has made my daily work way easier. I already paid off its cost 10 times without even taking it off the shelf. And that's it for today. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.